What happens when you have a rising star with billions of streams, a body found in his Tesla, and millions vanishing overnight?
I killed you. I'm looking at my life in the past 8 to 9 months. I'm like, whoa. Like, bro, these songs are soundtracking my life.
D4vd's story isn't just about fame. It's about how fast everything can collapse when murder, money, and music collide. And this is only the beginning. From millions to bankruptcy, how the bag disappeared overnight. Ayo, listen up, because this story right here is one of those cases where truth ends up sounding crazier than any rap lyric, any Netflix doc, or any hood rumor you've ever heard. We're talking about D4vd, real name David Anthony Burke, a 20-year-old kid who went from recording in his sister's closet to pulling in millions off TikTok anthems, and now finds himself drowning in legal smoke, public backlash, and financial collapse all at the same damn time. You hear that title? D4vd reveals he is going bankrupt after murdering his girlfriend. And it sounds like pure tabloid fuel, but the receipts tell a different story. The numbers line up, the timeline lines up, and when you put it all together, you realize this is the exact type of downfall that eats young artists alive. It's got scandal. It's got money disappearing faster than it ever came in. It's got cops raiding his home and industry insiders whispering that the bag is gone, over, finished. And the crazy part, just a few months ago, this man was on top of the world, lined up to be the next Gen Z superstar, already sitting on a $2 million net worth before he even hit 21. That's why people are shook right now, because it shows you how fast you can go from rich and untouchable to broke and disposable the minute scandal and crime mix into the picture. Let's start from the top, because you got to understand the position he was in before this all unraveled. By early 2025, D4v had built up an estimated $2 million. That's not old head rapper with a legacy catalog money, but for a 20-year-old who literally started by recording songs on his iPhone inside his sister's closet, that's insane. The dude came up off viral songs like Romantic Homicide, which pulled over by itself, and Here With Me, another track that blew up on TikTok edits. Those streams, along with tours, merch, and endorsements from companies like Hollister and Crocs, had him eating. His US tour legs from July to September 2025 had already grossed millions of dollars alone, and the European stretch that was scheduled was going to bring in millions more. He had collabs lined up, more brand deals on the way, whispers of future partnerships with Nike and Red Bull. He was Billboard's golden child, the kind of kid labels dream of finding in the TikTok era. That was the vibe. A young artist who struck lightning and was on the way to being a household name. But life flipped fast. On September 8, 2025, the LAPD got called out to a tow yard in the Hollywood Hills, Los Angeles. The staff had been complaining about a nasty odor coming from an abandoned Tesla Model 3 that had been sitting there for days. When cops cracked open the frunk, what they found was straight out of a crime thriller, black plastic bags. Inside those bags, the dismembered, decomposed remains of a young girl. She was later confirmed to be 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a Houston native who had been reported missing since April 5, 2024 from Lake Elsinore in Riverside County when she was 13 years old. Now, remember, this Tesla wasn't some random car. It was registered to David Anthony Burke, aka D4vd. From that moment on, his name was stamped on this tragedy. LAPD classified it as a homicide investigation. And while he hasn't been officially charged or arrested as of yet, the weight of the discovery alone was enough to start toppling his entire world. Suddenly, the romantic homicide kid is at the center of an actual homicide case. And nothing in the industry moves the same after that. The public did what it always...
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which one? What's good, David? Big family.
Screenshots from alleged Discord chats where he admitted to being addicted to gore videos and even helping Celeste escape her home resurfaced. Even his lyrics started being reframed like confessions. Romantic Homicide, the song that made him famous, has lines like, "In the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true." Which he always said was metaphorical. But now, with the body found in his Tesla, people are calling it prophetic. A leaked track called Celeste, recorded in late 2023, started circulating online with lyrics that referenced obsession, tattoos, intimacy, and depression. And suddenly, it sounded like a chilling diary of his relationship with Hernandez. So, not only was the legal system circling him, but the public court of opinion was already trying and convicting him in real time. Now, here's where the money part comes in. Because scandals of this scale don't just destroy reputations, they bleed bank accounts dry. When you look at the numbers, it's clear why people are saying bankruptcy is not just possible, but inevitable. Let's talk about legal fees first. High-profile homicide cases in Los Angeles are not cheap. We're talking somewhere at least $100,000 and even 3 times higher. Many lawyers charge hundreds of dollars an hour, but the earlier a suspect retains one, the better. This fee does not include the cost of retaining a lawyer during pretrial proceedings, expert witnesses, private investigators, and other expenses. If the case actually goes to trial, those costs can shoot past. Word is by September 12th, just 4 days after the Tesla discovery, D4vd had already retained a crisis management firm, dropping right off the bat on PR and forensics alone. Think about that. He's worth $2 million, and in less than a week, he's already spent half of it just locking in lawyers and PR. If he gets indicted, that number doubles, maybe even triples, and he simply doesn't have that type of cash on hand. One indictment could bankrupt him before a jury even hears his name. Then you got civil suits. Hernandez's family isn't sitting back. They've already said they're going to pursue justice, and wrongful death lawsuits of this nature are typically valued anywhere from that snippy hustle lawsuit levels. Add to that the whispers of those hush money payouts where other underage fans could come forward and claim coercion or damages. Each one of those could hit for another $5,000 to $10,000. And when you multiply that across multiple alleged victims, the total stacks up quick. Remember, too, that insurance policies don't cover intentional acts. So, if any of these lawsuits succeed, the payouts come directly out of his own assets. That's another $1 million or $2 million evaporating by 2026 at the latest on top of the criminal legal costs. And let's not forget the tours. The Withered World Tour was his bread and butter, expected to gross between. But after September 8th, it was a wrap. On September 18th, 2025, he can lead the 2 US shows in New York and Los Angeles, plus the entire European leg. He also can lead the release of a deluxe version of Withered following the identification of the body. That right there was a $1-2 million direct hit. But it doesn't stop there. Promoters withdrew all promotional content featuring him. Of course, booked venues demanded refunds, and fans who had already bought tickets had to be paid back. He even had to pull merch, including a bloody shirt design that people were clowning as bad taste. Once the scandal broke, instead of shows bringing money in, the whole tour has clearly turned into another bill. And then there's the brands. In the span of 1 week, every endorsement deal he had unraveled. Hollister dropped him on September 9th, Crocs followed. Keyukes quietly deleted collab post by September 19th. And Intercope Records froze all promotion on September 18th. That's gone just from brands. And when you factor in Spotify demoting him on playlists, his royalties got chopped by about 70%. Future partnerships dead before they even got inked. Nike, Red Bull, none of them touching him now. Essentially, in 1 month, his financial future evaporated. Even his baseline costs are insane. You got to understand, when you're a star at his level, even if you stop working, the bills don't stop. He's paying another $10K plus just to get his Tesla out of impound. And with royalties frozen pending the investigation, nothing is coming in to offset it. Do the math. $2 million net worth burning $500,000 every month that's broke by October. That's why analysts are saying this isn't just speculation, it's math. The math doesn't lie. Now, best case scenario, if by some miracle he gets cleared by December, analysts think he could recover with only a $1-2 million hit, maybe even bounce back if streams spike off the scandal. But the more realistic baseline is brutal. He's going to suffer severe financial distress within 9 months. If he's indicted, the drain shoots up, meaning he either sells his assets, liquidates everything, or files for bankruptcy by mid-2026. And that's the pessimistic case analysts see as most likely. It's not like we haven't seen this before either. Artists going broke because of scandals is practically a pattern. TLC filed for bankruptcy in the middle of platinum sales. Toni Braxton lost everything twice. MC Hammer went from 30M to broke. 50 Cent had to file Chapter 11 in 2015 despite being worth 155M on paper. R. Kelly's whole empire evaporated because of lawsuits and legal fees. It's the same story every time. Young artists blowing up fast, caught in scandal or legal smoke, and then the bills start hitting harder than the checks. And D4vd, at only 20 years old, is the latest victim of that same cycle. What makes it even more tragic is how quickly the industry flipped on him. On September 7th, he was in Chicago performing to sold-out crowds. By September 8th, the LAPD had his Tesla in the news. By September 11th, brands were cutting him off. By September 18th, his label froze him out. By September 20th, fans were split down the middle. Half calling him a monster and half saying his music saved their lives. But when it comes to money, fan loyalty doesn't matter. Boycotts kill streams, venues blacklist you, sponsors pull out, and the machine stops moving. That's how fast it all crumbles. So, when we say D4vd is revealing he's going bankrupt after murdering his girlfriend, this ain't no exaggeration. No debunking, no stretching. The facts add up. The case drained his money. The brands abandoned him. The tours collapsed. The lawsuits are lining up. And the burn rate is so high, he can't keep up. He might have gone from TikTok closet recordings to a 2M net worth in a couple of years, but in just a couple of weeks, he's halfway broke already. And if this keeps up, the rest of that bag is gone too. The murder case timeline and public fallout. So now that we laid down how the money started drying up in the first part, we got to spin the block and dig into the other half of this madness. The actual murder case itself, the details of the discovery, the history between D4v and the victim, the way the cops been moving, and how the streets of social media took this story and turned it into a wildfire. Because when you hear body found in Tesla connected to a 20-year-old superstar with songs about killing lovers, the internet don't need a trial. It creates its own narrative overnight. And in this case, that narrative has been just as lethal to his career as the LAPD investigation itself. Here's how it all played out. On September 8, 2025, the LAPD gets called to a tow yard in the Hollywood Hills. Staff had been tripping over this nasty smell coming from a black 2023 Tesla Model 3 that had been impounded for at least a month after it was found abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. The odor was so foul that at first people thought it was spoiled food. But when the cops popped open the frunk, they found black plastic bags stuffed inside. Those bags weren't trash though. They were holding the dismembered, decomposed body of a young girl. Forensics later confirmed it was Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 15-year-old Houston native who had been reported missing over a year earlier since April 2024 when she was 13. That discovery alone turned this from just another impounded car story into one of the most shocking celebrity-related cases we've seen in years. And when LAPD ran the plates saw that the Tesla was registered to David Anthony Burke, D4vd, his name was in headlines worldwide before he even knew what hit him. The condition of the body only added to the chaos. Reports said the remains were severely decomposed and partially dismembered, which meant forensics had to work overtime to extract evidence. At first, they couldn't even ID her, but her dental records and DNA confirmed the victim as Hernandez. That's when the scandal officially had a name and a face. Now, the reason this case spiraled so fast is because there were already whispers about D4vd and Hernandez long before the Tesla discovery. Back in 2023, screenshots from alleged Discord chats started circulating showing D4vd, then 18, insinuating that he went for younger girls because girls his age were __. This was around the same time he was chatting privately with Hernandez, who was only 13 or 14 at the time. Around the same period, photos and videos surfaced of them at Houston events together. They even had matching tattoos, which fans immediately tied to his 2023 EP, Petals to Thorns. Hernandez's brother reportedly went to the Houston police in 2023 about a grooming situation. But when cops did a welfare check at D4vd's house, they said they found no evidence and dropped it. Still, the rumor stayed alive. And when Hernandez went missing in 2024, some fans connected the dots, but it never blew up mainstream. It wasn't until her body was found in his car that everything resurfaced like gasoline on a fire. On September 18, 2025, the LAPD searched a residence in Hollywood Hills previously occupied by Burke as part of the investigation.
He had a boyfriend named David, and then they had matching tattoos.